I think I'll be able, since we're a smaller group, I will be able to see you guys as well as I present. I did this presentation for the Leduc Chamber last week, actually, but there was like over 60 people on, and so I couldn't see anybody. And it felt interesting because it felt like I was literally talking to myself because I couldn't see anyone. But this will be really nice. All right, I'm just going to share my screen here.
While you're doing that, when people actually come in, we will certainly let them in. As I said, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get better turnout. However, we truly appreciate that you're doing it for the three of us. And I'm sure that I am going to learn a tremendous amount to build on what you taught me last week.
All right, thank you so much, Michael. And hi, everyone. We've all had a little moment to get acquainted with who I am, in case you don't know. My name is Brittany, and I am a social media manager and educator is what I like to call myself. And I do help businesses of all sizes learn how to show up on social media with intention online. And as we know, with all of the changes that have been going on with COVID, showing up online for your community as a business or even an organization has never been more important than now. My goal by the end of this little training for everyone is for you to leave feeling confident, knowing which social media platforms you should be on for your business that's going to work best for you and your organization and your situation. So whatever journey or wherever you're at in your business right now, or with Toastmasters and your club, just really take that into consideration as I'm going through the different social media platforms that I'll be talking about today. I want to share with you what we are covering. I am going to go over target audience and social media goals. And then I'm going to use that information that we go over to talk about Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and go into what audiences are on those platforms so that you can know if for your organization and your business, which platforms you should be on. And then I am going to have questions at the end. So if you do have questions, please take a moment to write them down beside you, and then we can get to them afterwards. I do also want to share with you what we are not covering in this presentation because I feel like that's important. I'm not going to be going into strategies for Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram because I could spend an hour talking about just one strategy for each of those platforms. I'm also not going to be going over how to set up your accounts. If you do have questions about that, though, please reach out to me. And I'm also not going to dive into hashtags, caption writing, reels, Instagram stories, or insights and stats, because again, that can take an hour in itself. But if any of you have questions about that afterwards, please do not hesitate to reach out to me because I am more than happy to help you out with that. But really, we're going to be covering what social media platform you really should be on for your business and organization based on your needs. Because often we can feel very overwhelmed with feeling like we have to be on all of the platforms because there is Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, but not only those three, there's also Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok and YouTube and Pinterest and Twitter. Maybe I said Twitter twice. There's a lot. And so as a business or even a Toastmasters organization, we can often feel that pressure to be on the newest thing that comes out. But sometimes we need to think about if that even makes sense. And so I always like to ask my clients to ask themselves these two questions. Who is my target audience? And what are my social media goals? And often I find that businesses forget to even take a step back, and even organizations like Toastmasters, different clubs, forget to take a step back and answer these two questions. So let's talk about who is your target audience. This is one of my favorite quotes. When you speak to everyone, you are speaking to no one. And I'm sure most of us have heard this quote before, but it's so incredibly true, especially when it comes to social media. You really need to know who you want to connect with when you're online. And you really need to understand who that person or those people are. This reason this is so important is because when we know who our potential clients are or who we are potentially trying to attract to our club, we can then know which social media platforms they are most likely using. And when we know that, we can then be very intentional with our time when we're creating the post that we want to share with our community. And that will help build trust and grow your audience online. So we really want to be very intentional. Now, I often hear this, what if I have more than one target audience? Well, you are going to have more than one target audience, but you need to know which target audiences you do have, because you're going to be speaking to them in a very different way, as well as they are each going to be on a different platform as well and using it differently. So I wanted to use John Deere as an example, because I think most of us, if we think of John Deere, we think of farmers, maybe, an older generation, and where would they be hanging out? But John Deere is on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and they use the platforms all very differently because they know they have a very different audience on each of those platforms. So as you can see here, this post is actually for Instagram or Facebook, this first one. And that's because they do have an older audience that would be using Facebook. So anyone who's maybe a little bit, between the ages of 20 or 35 to 40 and maybe 60, they're more on this platform. You can then see that the second platform is LinkedIn, but John Deere is talking to people who are on LinkedIn very differently. They're really showcasing their company and their expertise and innovation. They're going to show their quarterly reports and their revenue, and they're going to be trying to show off how well they're doing as a company. They're not talking to, potential clients, or maybe talking to potential investors and hires. And then you can see this third one over here. This is Instagram. And you can tell with the pictures on here, they're targeting a younger demographic. They're targeting the future farmers. And you can see that with the cute pictures of the kids and families, a big orientation here. And so John Deere does a really good job at understanding they have different target audiences, and they speak to all of them in a very different way. Now, the second question is, what are your social media goals? And I often find businesses forget to answer this question. Most businesses don't know what their social media goals are. And I'm not talking about KPIs and getting really specific on numbers. I'm even just talking about having a broad goal. And so I really like to ask them, are you on social media? Is it for brand awareness? Is it for selling products and services, or to drive traffic to your website? Is it maybe because you want to reach new clients, connect with your community, or build a community? Or is it because everyone else is on the platform? And the reason you want to ask yourself this question, what is your social media goal, is because knowing what that answer is will help you know which social media platform you should be using as well. And I'm going to go into that a little bit further. But I really like to share this information. Without a social media goal, you can't build a strategy. And without a strategy, you will have no idea where to focus your efforts. And you're going to try to be on everything, which makes you feel overwhelmed, or like social media is a waste of time. And it's not. You just need to be intentional. But if you're a small business or an organization, or anyone of that matter, time is money. But time is not only money, it truly is our most valuable asset, because it's something we can't get back. And so we want to be very intentional with our time and really want to know where to focus our efforts. So we want to use our target audience and know our social media goals to help us determine what platforms we should focus our efforts on. And this applies to if you have a business, but even if you're a club as well, because I know for Toastmasters clubs, sometimes we're like, well, let's create a LinkedIn page, and then let's have a Facebook group, and well, maybe we should be on Instagram now. And I feel like we want to jump onto these different platforms without knowing really why or where our audience that we're truly trying to target is at. And so I want to give you all permission, even going back to your clubs, to say, we do not need to be on every platform. It's okay if we are only focusing on one of them. And now we can have an idea of which one to focus on. So which social media platform should you be on? Now, I'm going to share with us just the 3 platforms, the main ones that we're going to cover. And I'm going to let you know which audience is on which different platforms and if it's a good idea for you to be on each platform based on your particular situation. So let's start with Facebook. Facebook is the largest social media platform, and I think we all already know that. But I like to share some numbers to put that into perspective. There's over 25 million people using Facebook in Canada. And in Canada, we have a population of over 36 million, maybe it's a bit higher, but 36 million Canadians were like in Canada, and there's 25 million of them on Facebook. That's crazy. Now, the majority of the users are between the ages of 25 to 35 years old. And that's because this is like the demographic and age group that actually grew up with Facebook. They were on the platform first, and now they're at this different stage of their life where they're, becoming maybe parents or really focusing on their business and career. The average time spent on Facebook is about 27 minutes a day, which is also kind of crazy. But I think we can all say that it's easy to get a little bit down the rabbit hole on Facebook, and all of a sudden you look at your watch and you're like, I can't believe where the time went. Another interesting few facts I wanted to share is that the people that are on Facebook are adults between ages 25 to 44, as you can see on the graph. That's who's mostly using it. But there's a new group that's becoming even more active on Facebook, and those are the ones between 45 and 65. The fastest growing group on Facebook, though, is the 65 plus, and those are kind of that grandparents kind of age group. Now, this is important because if this is an age group or if your target audience falls within this area, then you might want to consider using Facebook for your business or organization. Now, who's not using Facebook? As you can tell, it's teens. They have way cooler platforms to be hanging out on. So if teens are your demographic, then Facebook's not the place. Now, the reason there's so many people on Facebook is because Facebook has so many different features that either you can use as a business or organization or that attracts people to come and use the platform. So there's, of course, having a personal profile page or a business page. There's Facebook Marketplace, where people can buy and sell products. Facebook Messenger, where people can even create private little groups to message. People use to hold memberships and have a membership platform for free on Facebook, which is really interesting. And a lot of people actually only use Facebook to become a part of a group, which shows that community is really important, and Facebook has recognized that. Facebook, you can create events through Facebook and promote it, and they've partnered with things like Eventbrite, of course. There's now Facebook Shop, so if you know of anyone who has a product-based company, they can start to use Facebook Shop and sell right on Facebook, and that is different than Marketplace. And then there's Facebook Live. So there is a lot of features that a business or organization can use that not only attracts people here, but that can be really helpful for your own organization. Now, the reason Facebook is such a great platform is because they have so much information about a lot of us. Because when Facebook first started, it truly was a social platform. So we were all sharing with them our name, our birth date, where we live. And then we started to share with them things like if we were in a relationship, maybe we were divorced now and single, maybe we have kids, maybe we like tractors or certain types of vehicles, and the list goes on. And Facebook took this information and was like, ooh, this is an advertiser's dream. We know so much information about people that we can now sell this, and people can target advertising for a very, very low fee. And that's what makes Facebook valuable. Now, I'm sure a few of us may have our own Facebook business page, and we're like, okay, well, I'm posting to that, but no one's really seeing my stuff. And that's because of the advertising part of it. Facebook is now a pay-to-play platform. So if you do want your stuff to be seen, there's gonna have to be a little bit of an investment behind that. Now, if you don't want to, that is fine, but just have that expectation that your reach for those posts are going to be a lot smaller than if you were going to do some advertising. But that's what Facebook has become now. So who should be using Facebook? If you are a business to consumer type of a company or organization, if you are selling product or service-based products, if you're a personal brand such as a coach or a consultant, this can be a really, really good platform for you. If you want to send people directly to your website and then do retargeted ads, and again, that would be then using the Facebook ads portion of Facebook. If you want to sell products without a website through Marketplace, as I said, targeted advertising, or really, I feel like now social media is almost like your own mini website that people come to before they go to your actual website. People like to check out your Facebook page. So it helps to build your brand by having one. So if you don't have a Facebook page, I strongly suggest creating one. Even if you don't feel like you're going to be that active on it, I still think it's really, really important. Now, who's Facebook not that great for? If you are targeting businesses, so if you're doing business to business or a type of business to business company, then this is probably not the right platform for you. It's still a good idea to just create that basic business or Facebook business page, but then you might want to go to a different platform and engage there. And if you're not going to be willing to pay for advertising, as I said earlier, just know you don't have to pay for advertising, but have that expectation that your reach is going to be lower because it truly is now a pay-to-play platform. So just a couple of quick tips before I move on to our next one. If you do decide to do any Facebook advertising, I always recommend to hire someone to help you with your Facebook ads or take a course. Because although you can do advertising for very cheap, for example, I've had a client where I've done Facebook ads for them and we got it down to 3 cents a click, which is insane. However, I've also seen people who've wasted hundreds of dollars on Facebook because they didn't know what they were doing. And so you don't want to be one of those people. So it's a really good idea to at least spend some time learning how to do it yourself or to hire someone. And if you do end up hiring someone, just know there is going to be a fee not only to do your ads on Facebook, but they do take an advertising management fee as well. So you just have to budget for that. On Facebook, you may have seen if you have a post, it's like, boost this post. I don't suggest you do that. That to me, again, is a waste of money. That's another way that Facebook likes to try to just like get quick, easy money from people. Facebook advertising is the way you want to go because that's where you can target it to specific people to create the ads that are very targeted. You want to make sure you're posting consistently on Facebook, even if that means once a week. As long as you're being consistent, that's the best. And you want to make sure you optimize your Facebook page to increase searchability. And what I mean by that is use keywords on your business profile. So on your About section, make sure you say your location and include anything that you think may attract people who are looking for your product. Because Facebook does have a keyword search type of platform to it. So you want to make sure you have that optimized too. Now let's go into Instagram, which is one of my favorite platforms to play on. Instagram, it has about 12.6 million users in Canada, which is quite a substantial decrease from Facebook. So Facebook was 25 million and Instagram's 12 million. You can also see the difference in the demographic. So it's mostly 18 to 34-year-olds that are using Instagram worldwide, and majority of them are female. So I believe it's over 70% is female with 30% male. And people spend an average, again, of over 30 minutes a day on Instagram. And it can quickly turn to be much longer. I know I'm not a good person to see about how long they're on Instagram because I'm on Instagram all the time for my clients. It's too much. But Instagram has a lot of really cool features as well. So of course they have private and public accounts. I've seen business like fitness centers use private accounts to hold a membership on the Instagram platform as well. So you can use it almost like a private Facebook group in that sense. There is Instagram Live. People can use it for use Instagram stories and posts. There's now Reels, guides, shopping. It's crazy. Instagram is trying to become that little platform that offers everything to everyone so you don't have to leave the platform, essentially is their goal. And a lot of people are attracted to that and they're spending a lot of time here. Instagram is a very visual platform. Not only do you want to have really nice videos and photos, but you really want to create a theme for your Instagram account. And you want to make sure that theme represents your brand appropriately. As you can see here on this person's account, she has a color scheme that really blends together nicely. It really represents her brand. She's being very intentional about the photos she's putting out here. And I'm sharing this because it's really important on Instagram to have a nice visual feed, because it really shows you, it's really like your mini website when people come here. They're going to come look at your news feed and they're going to get an impression about your business and decide in 1 or 2 seconds if they want to follow you or not. Instagram is also so different because you need to take into consideration what your photo in the middle looks like compared to all the photos around it. And that's why it's really important to visually plan out your feed. On Facebook or LinkedIn, you just post something and then it goes away and then there's the next post. So it doesn't really matter what it looks like that you posted on Insta or on Facebook or LinkedIn, but on Instagram, it really does matter. So that part is very different. You have to be really intentional. And here's a few platforms that are doing it really well. And right away you could look and be like, oh, I bet you this is a real estate agent, or this is clearly a fitness facility. You can kind of look and get a quick snapshot. There's even businesses that are business to business companies like General Electric that are on Instagram. And you can even see like they use it really well. They're really showcasing their innovation and their technology here. So you can be on here if you're a business to business company, but it really is mostly attracting those people who are business to consumers or business to customer. Now, Instagram is also one of the best platforms for organic, which is free growth, because you can directly connect with your followers and have conversations with them. And what I mean by that is you can actually go and find people on Instagram who you think might be a good customer for you, and you can start commenting on their posts. You can send them a direct message. Even if you're a business, you can send them a direct message and start talking to them. However, on Facebook or LinkedIn, you can't do that. It blocks you from being a business account page to connecting to customers. And that's, again, what makes Instagram very unique. 2 big things for Instagram in 2021 is to humanize your brand. And what that means is to really, really showcase the human aspect of your business, as well as taking the time to connect with your community, which is the engagement part. So who is Instagram great for? As I said before, product and service-based businesses that are targeting consumers. If your target audience is mostly women, if you are an artistic or creative business, such as a jewelry company or a painter, pottery, if you do graphic design, photographer, this is a great platform for you. If you're really wanting to build a community and you have that time to engage, if you're trying to target a younger demographic, such as John Deere, and if you do have content that can inspire, educate, or entertain, because those are the types of posts that perform the best on this platform. Now, who is Instagram not for? If you do not have high quality photos or videos to use. And so here's a really good example. This was a company on Instagram, and I'm sure you have no idea what it actually is. It's a furnace company, but looking at them, you'd have no idea. And so their posts were not performing that great, and you can tell because they don't have the content available that really showcases their company. If you're only using stock photos and you don't have photos of your team or yourself, it's not going to perform great on Instagram. They really want to see like that human element behind the business. If you don't have the time or knowledge to post consistently, And if you don't have the time to engage on Instagram, then this platform really isn't going to be the best one for you to invest your in. It's probably better for you to look at using Facebook or maybe LinkedIn instead. Now let's dive into LinkedIn. LinkedIn has 17.4 million users in Canada. Again, Facebook had 25 million, Instagram had 12, and LinkedIn has 17. So there's more people on LinkedIn than there is Instagram. Majority of the users are between 25 to 34, which makes sense because those are those business professionals who are the young business professionals who are trying to grow within their career. Interestingly, though, the average time spent on LinkedIn is just 7.5 minutes. So people are really coming onto this platform, seeing what they want to see, and then they are leaving and going and doing something else because they're busy. And so that makes sense. LinkedIn is the world's largest professional networking site. It really, truly is a great way to network virtually online. And it's a great place to try to find new hires and showcase your business in a professional way. And as I said earlier, it's really good for anyone who's a business that's trying to sell or connect with other businesses. The other really amazing thing about LinkedIn is that the algorithm is incredible. It works how Facebook used to work when Facebook first came out. And what I mean by that is if you put out a post on LinkedIn and someone likes or comments on that post, their entire network will be able to see what they commented and post on. And so your posts can be substantially larger, and that grows organically, which is really cool. Again, with Facebook, you have to pay to get your stuff to be seen. LinkedIn is really, really great for that. Who is LinkedIn great for? So if you are a service-based business or a business-to-business company, if you have articles that you want to share that you want to showcase yourself as being a thought leader or an industry leader, if you want to highlight any company successes, maybe you've won any awards or you are giving something like highlighting a team member who's been awarded with something, or you want to just showcase your team or what your team is up to, or if you're selling any courses or workshops to professionals, then this is the platform you want to be using. LinkedIn is not really the right place to be if you are a product selling directly to consumers. And so I really like to highlight, Lululemon as example. They obviously sell clothing to consumers, and they do use LinkedIn, but they use it just to showcase what a great company LinkedIn is to work for. And they showcase their team if they're doing any team trainings or really celebrating any of their new hires or team members. But they use Instagram and Facebook to sell their products to the consumers. So that's how they use it in that different way. If you are writing lighthearted articles or blog posts, then this might not be the right platform for you to share that on. If you are a small cafe or a restaurant, it's probably better for you to spend time on Instagram or Facebook rather than on LinkedIn. You can get a LinkedIn page and just showcase a little bit about your team, but you're probably going to be too busy and it would be better to spend your time on a different platform. And the same thing goes with fitness studios or personal trainers. So anyone in those types of businesses, they're better suited for Facebook or Instagram. So a couple of quick tips. I do think it's a good idea to just have a LinkedIn business page to showcase your company. It's not necessary, but it's a good idea. And even if you are a solopreneur, great idea to just have that business page set up. If you want to share, or it's also a really good idea to share any posts that you do to your business page, share that to your personal account right away because your reach is better. When you do have a LinkedIn business page, it does operate very similar to a Facebook business page in the sense that your reach is limited and they want you to pay for your stuff to be seen. But if you share it from your LinkedIn business page to your personal LinkedIn page, more people will get to see it for free, which is a really good strategy. And use LinkedIn to spend time engaging and making meaningful comments and connections with others, because we always want to remember there truly is another person on the other side of the screen, and we want to get to know them and build that relationship with them. And the best way to grow your LinkedIn profile is to do the meaningful comments. It's way more effective than just doing a like. Now, each social media platform has a different purpose. And for that reason, you're going to be it attracts a different audience. So you really need to know which social media platform your target audience is using, but also what situation your organization is in to know which platform to use as well. And I always like to add this in, as I said a little bit earlier, but people are still people on social media. And we really need to remember that it takes time to build a relationship or a friendship or a potential client or customer in real life. And the same thing goes with social media. I find way too often people think, I'm just going to do a few posts and then, someone should all of a sudden buy from me. And it's like, no, if you're just starting to show up on social media, you need to build that trust with people first. And so that takes time. You need to nurture that relationship and see social media as a long-term strategy. If you're putting in the effort and you're being consistent, it can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months to start to see your return on your efforts. So don't think of this as being a quick strategy. I just want to get, 1,000 followers right away, or I want someone to start buying my products right away. No, this takes time, and be realistic. And I like to just share that because I think people get a little bit too impatient. And I would like to open it up to if anyone has any questions about what I shared. That's my little bit about social media and the different platforms. And I'm really hoping it gave you not only permission to be like, okay, don't need to be on all the platforms, but also know a little bit of focus to know where you should be putting your efforts in more, because as I said before, time is limited. And if you're a business or an organization, you really want to be effective and intentional with everything that you do. So yeah, does anyone have any questions?
Well, first off, well done, Brittany. That was awesome presentation.
Oh,
I love
you.
your energy. I love your knowledge. This has just been absolutely terrific. Some of it I knew already, a lot of stuff I knew already. However, this idea about putting together a strategy for social media, I do a weekly podcast, video podcast on YouTube.
Oh, yes.
And, so I've been doing this since the beginning of COVID, where each week I go live on YouTube and I interview different subject matter experts. And my target is small and medium-sized businesses who want to basically learn new capacity. As a business owner and as a business consultant, I realized that a lot of small businesses don't necessarily have the capacity in their business. Mm-hmm. And so I won't lie that it's a struggle to get subscribers. It's a struggle to get anybody to comment on the videos. Right. Any of the episodes are between 20 and 45 minutes, 20 and 55 minutes. But it's really really quality content. It's not just, oh, Steve, tell me why you're so great. Oh, that's really wonderful. Thank you. How can people get in touch? It's really, there's a learning struggle with the idea of being able to market those videos so that more people will see them. I toyed with an idea of doing simultaneous posts to Facebook. But then I wanted to really focus. I want YouTube to be the place where they will get that content, or my website. And I felt that if I posted natively on YouTube as much on Facebook, I felt that it would dilute kind of the impressions that I was trying to get on it.
So YouTube is technically also a social media platform. And so do you spend time engaging with other accounts?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, perfect. So you go and see other videos and kind of comment and everything. And
yes.
Perfect. Yeah.
So not necessarily in my realm.
Okay.
So that might be an issue.
Yeah. So make sure even if you think people, if there's certain businesses or companies that you're like, oh, I think this would be really valuable for them to see, you could kind of do some engaging like that. Mm-hmm. Also, I think it would be really neat because you have a Facebook account, LinkedIn. Do you have any other social media accounts as well?
I use Twitter, and the only thing I use Instagram for is just when I'm posting my episodes.
Oh, okay.
I'm not very active on it, but again, I don't think my demographic is well, I don't know, maybe I need to tap into your expertise.
Yeah.
But part of it is this idea with Instagram is being it's highly photo content.
Yeah.
It's a visual platform.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I have a lot of visuals to put into the platform other than, stock footage or my little snippet videos or that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. What you could do is, because you said it's a video of you doing your podcast, you could take snippets of that video and turn them into quick, like 30-second little trainings or something for Instagram, but that would be quite a bit of work because you'd have to go in and edit it. Yeah. But as long as you are using those other platforms to promote that you have that YouTube or that podcast episode coming out, and I would really spend more time probably doing engagement on LinkedIn and then trying to send them to your YouTube video.
Yeah. So what I do is I go into I'm part of different groups, different entrepreneurial groups, different business associations. I'm members of business associations all over the world now.
Yeah.
And then so I will, and I have a pattern by which I take certain quotes or snippets or whatever to keep the engagement going with the videos.
Oh,
and
good.
So over the course of 14 days, I post to different groups at different times with different videos.
Oh, good. Yes.
And so I'm using Hootsuite to do my main post, but then I have a calendar kind of where I'm posting things.
Oh, good.
Which groups are feeding back to me.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. And so those groups are great. And then also if you go onto some individual accounts and just engage with them a little bit too, or if there's anyone who you notice that liked any of your posts that you've done in those groups, go spend a little moment to message them or something, and then that kind of creates that warmer audience. Do you turn those YouTube videos into actual podcast episodes?
They will. Yes, I'm working on them now. I just created a Podbean account. I've just published 2 episodes.
Amazing.
But I'm going through now to turn them into audio only.
Awesome. Because I do feel like more people are willing to listen versus sit and watch for that period of time.
Yes.
So I bet you'll get more of a growth and engagement with your podcast, but still keep it on YouTube, of course. But I wonder if maybe the length might get a little too long for people to want to sit and watch the YouTube video, maybe.
I wonder that as well.
Yeah, because I find even I like to think of myself as whenever I'm doing social media posts for other people, I like to think of myself of how I use that platform. And usually on YouTube, if a video is longer than 11 minutes, I kind of will try to find a shorter one.
Yeah, well, I've talked to a lot of people who said, oh yeah, I keep saving the videos, but I haven't had time to watch them, which tells me that maybe they're a little bit too long.
Too long. But if you're converting them into podcasts, then that's fine. Because then you'll be able to share those podcasts with them. And I think that'll be really effective. Do you also have a newsletter you send out?
I don't.
Okay.
I am working on, so I hired a young lady out of Jamaica to do my transcriptions and to do my captioning for the YouTube videos. And my intent is to take those transcriptions and turn them into blog posts on my website.
Oh, amazing. That's great. And then even if you create the newsletter, then you can send them either to your blog or directly to the videos or to your podcast then. So that will be really good to grow that newsletter then. But I would use, especially once you get the podcast episodes, I think you'll be able to use some of those social media platforms even more to really grow the podcast listening side of things. Because I just wonder if it's just a bit too long for people to want to sit and listen. So if you could even, actually, this would be interesting to do just as an experiment. If you just shorten some of those videos. So take some of let's say you ask a question to your, it's 5 minutes it takes them to answer that question, and snippet of that and make that your video. And just say hey, we asked so-and-so about this. And then see if you get more people watching. And if you do, that would be your indicator that, okay, those were just too long. And another cool thing though, is now you've just created yourself a lot more content. So you can maybe post YouTube videos twice a week because you have more snippets. And the YouTube algorithm will like that because it will see you're using the platform more consistently too.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would maybe give that a try.
Yeah, thanks very much, Brittany.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyone else?
Wow. And here's what first of all, thank you. So this has been absolutely fabulous. You've really given us some really insight to these three major social media platforms, the demographic who lives there, which is really important, especially, in Toastmasters, where we're trying to attract different demographics. And, from what I've heard tonight, and certainly, from the previous conversations we've had, I guess Facebook and Instagram really is where we want to be. That's sort of the demographic that we want to attract. And the other thing I learned today is that even though well, my LinkedIn account is posted too regularly, you notice how carefully I said that, we have to come up with a better strategy. Because
yes.
Posting isn't, that we post a couple, 3 times a week. That's not good enough. We have to come up with a better strategy. So I need to think about that and plan that better to be more effective. So thank you very much for that. That is very much appreciated. And hopefully,
yeah, you're welcome.
Watching this recording, you get something out of this to do something for their Toastmasters club. So Brittany, if we wanted to find out more, do you offer a course perhaps, in social media that people could take advantage of?
Yeah, I do. So I do have an Instagram Basics for Business course that I offer. And we really go through narrowing down your target audience, understanding your Instagram bio and making sure you have some keywords in there, how to use the highlights, and how to write captions and actually create a bit of a plan for writing your social media content so you can do it consistently. And it's about a 90-minute course workshop that we offer. And you get a 20-page workbook, and we literally go through it together, which is really awesome. And then you can ask questions at the end. But the goal is for you to be able to walk away and be like, I can create my own social media posts and not feel overwhelmed, for Instagram specifically, but you can really use those tools and apply them to other platforms as well. And so we have that coming up in January. So if anyone is interested, they can send me an email, and we're just solidifying the date, but it'll be sometime in early January that we're going to be offering that. And it is $75 for the 90 minutes, but you get a recording of the video and that 20-minute workbook. And we keep the size small. So our max group size is 10 people, so that you do get that one-on-one, and you can ask questions just as anyone in this group did this evening, and really get that personalized answer for your business, which is, I sometimes think, invaluable to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And yeah, so everyone, hello@brittnymiller.biz. Send her an email. She'll put you on a mailing list. I'm on her mailing list. She does not fill your mailbox up with junk.
No.
I don't. It's true.
She gives you good
That's important
stuff.
to tell people, because how many, I don't like to give my email address out because I get stuff I don't want, but I'm on her mailing list. You can trust me on that.
Yeah, if it's from Brittany, it's worth reading.
Oh, thank you.
Totally.
Awesome. Well,
And
yeah, if anyone has questions, please reach out. And thank you again so much, Michael. I really appreciate getting the opportunity to share this with everyone.
Well, thank you so much, Brittany.
and-
I wish we would have had a bigger audience tonight, but we didn't. We did record it, so we're going to put it up on our District 64 channel. So I know there's some people who couldn't come. We did get some folks wanting to know how they could see this, so we will put it up. And thank you so much again for doing this. It's really and truly appreciated.